ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 apps has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and please follow the instructions. Now, here are some of the stories that you sent in today. Let's begin with this set of images from Apapa Relay Costain Bridge here in Lagos, showing an uncommon sight where the bridge appears empty of trucks. Well, our eyewitness reporter reports that this cleanup came about after a stakeholders meeting at the Western Naval Command headquarters. Our eyewitness reporter is happy about the state of the road and appreciates Channels Television and everyone involved in the cleanup. Our next story is still in Lagos State from the satellite area. Our eyewitness reporter sends this story showing an ongoing construction work which he says was embarked on by residents. He says the communal effort resulted when all effort to get the government failed. Well, still in Lagos is this next story from the Ojota area of the state showing the pollution ongoing at the dump site. Our eyewitness who bemoans the situation reports that one of the schools in the area had to send students home for safety reasons. He wants this checked. Finally is this video from Ahoda West local government area of Rivers State showing the bad state of this school, which our eyewitness reporter says is Ubobi Community Secondary School. He decries the poor state of this infrastructure and wonders how much learning can be done here. He is appealing to the state government to do something urgently in the interest of the students. Thank you for sending the stories, and please note that you too can report events as they happen around you. Well, let's talk more with our guest in the studio on the security situation, most especially with labeling killer herdsmen as terrorists. Well, we have Mr. Don Okereke, who is a security analyst as well as a consultant. Thank you for coming on the news at 10.
You're welcome.
Do you share the same view with the renewed calls for labeling killer herdsmen as terrorists as that of, Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, civil society groups and others?
Yes, I think I do. Apart from Soyinka and civil society groups, remember back in 2015, the Global Terrorism Index said that Fulani herdsmen are the fourth deadliest terrorist group in the world. And Nigerians expected that the Nigerian government would take action on them, but since then nothing has happened. You
said Fulani herdsmen. The Miyetti Allah group keeps saying that they are not Fulani herdsmen.
So who are they? Are they aliens from the moon? The same Miyetti Allah in Benue State, I think the chairman or so, reportedly admitted that they took action, against, they took reprisals against people that rustled their cattle. So who are they? Are they aliens from the moon? If they are from the moon, they should tell us who they are.
But these are the questions that we're actually asking. The government's trying to do all it can to stop this. But let's assume that this labeling actually occurs and, they are actually branded terrorists. Do you think that this gives the government the arsenal to go ahead and find the perpetrators?
Well, I think it will. It will be a step in the right direction if they are labeled, as terrorist organization. Because if you look at what they are doing, the systematic attack on parts of the country, from Benue to Taraba to, all the nook and cranny of the country, it's marks of terrorism. So it is just natural that the government have to wield the big stick. Whether they label them terrorist group or not, the government have to wield the big stick.
What are your thoughts on how the government has been trying to fight this since it started?
I don't think they are doing enough. I think the body language, so to say, of the government gives room for these people to, to continue doing what they are doing. I don't think the response so far has been quite encouraging. I think the government needs to do more.
Let's not also forget that we had a few attacks. We heard about a few attacks just a few hours after President Muhammadu Buhari left Plateau State. A lot of people are wondering how that would happen.
That tells you there's inadequate security in those places. Because remember the Police Service Commission chairman said about 80% of police officers in Nigeria are deployed to private citizens, to politicians and celebrities and all that. That tells you there is no adequate security. That tells you Nigeria, with all due respect, is not that serious about security. We only react to issues. We are more reactive than proactive. I think that's the way I see it.
On the issue of identity, we've heard them, people have called them herders. We've also heard some times when they've been known to be foreigners, who are perpetrating this. I mean, like I said, the media are saying that they are not Fulanese, they're not responsible. With all of these coming in, what are your thoughts on border control?
Well, I am careful in stereotyping them, It is possible that, some of these attacks are not carried out by the so-called Fulani herdsmen. It is possible. But like I said earlier, whoever they are, whoever is carrying these attacks have to be reined in. I mean, I don't want to believe that they are from the Mars or from the moon. And talking about border control, that tells you that our borders are porous. I think last 2 years or thereabout, we learned that there are about 1,000 and something illegal or porous border, entry points into Nigeria. I think that would be key to reining this thing in as well. If they control the border, control all those illegal entry points, control arms proliferation, this will go a long way in stopping this.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Don Okeke, security analyst and consultant, for coming on the news at 10.
Thank you. You're welcome.
A 42-year-old man and a father of 7 children, Ibrahim Ali, has met his untimely death in the hands of a policeman who shot him at a close range in Lokoja, the Kogi state capital. Sergeant Ibrahim Issa, attached to the anti-kidnapping section of the state's Criminal Intelligence and Investigation Department, was said to have shot Ibrahim Issa for advising him to take a 15-year-old girl he knocked down while riding on a motorcycle to the hospital.
If anyone had told Ibrahim Ali when he was leaving his home to work on the morning of 13th March 2018 that he will not return, he wouldn't have believed it. Ibrahim Ali was from Lokoja and worked as a livestock dealer in Ganaja village. His neighbors say he was a quiet and easygoing man.
It was very close range, very, very close.
But why was he killed? Mr. Mohammed Jibrin, who was an eyewitness, narrates what happened.
He's a policeman on bike. So he hits a girl. They rescue him. After rescuing him, we asked him, go and treat this girl. He was angry, annoyed. All he do, just pick his phone and call his team. When they came, they started harassing people. Why would they say they should go and treat this girl? I said, okay, we are sorry. Alhaji was even telling them they are sorry, that they should go. He's going to take care of the girl. He just ran into the car and brought out the gun. Direct, he just aimed at this man and shot him.
The late Ali's wife, who spoke to Channels Television at the family house in Angwan Power, Kogi State, recalls her last moment with him.
My husband brings soup ingredient for me, and he asked me to cook it in time so that when children come back from school, they should eat. And I've cooked it. And he asked me that I should fetch the one I did in the morning so that he will eat something. I fetched him macaroni. He now left. I just heard that they shoot my husband. I ran to the hospital. The next thing I saw my husband in the car. I cannot even speak to my husband again. They cheat me, oh. That starts that shoot my husband, he cheat me. But I leave him for God, so they should help me for education.
Mr. Hyginus Okoro was injured by the same bullet which killed the late Ibrahim Ali. He's on admission at the Federal Medical Center, Lokoja. In a press conference, the Deputy Commissioner of Police assures journalists that the policeman who allegedly killed Ibrahim Ali has been arrested and will be prosecuted.
The police sergeant involved has been arrested, detained and undergoing a room trial, while the circumstance that led to the incident is being thoroughly investigated.
The Kogi state government has donated the sum of 5 million naira to the family of the late Ibrahim Ali. but the family is still crying out for justice over the killing of their father.
Let's go over to Osun State, where the police command have been accused of complicity over the disappearance of a Sergeant Sunday Ibrahim attached to a Lagos-based businessman. The family of Sergeant Ibrahim, who went missing since July last year while on duty, are worried about his disappearance and the silence of the police force. The sergeant, until his disappearance, was serving at the Special Protection Unit at Zone 11 Police Headquarters, Osogbo.
Help me find my husband. The IG help me. General of Police help me.
The pain, anguish, despair, and anxiety of a wife, mother, and sister, Mrs. Ibrahim. Her husband is said to have gone missing in the line of duty since July last year.
I call my husband like, now another person pick the call. He said, my husband, he don't go bath. I just wait to 2 hours. My husband never called me. I call him back. Another person don't pick the call. He tell me 2 minutes. My husband he called me. Since that time, he don't open the phone.
The man, Sergeant Sunday Ibrahim, with force number 240620, until July last year was attached to a Lagos businessman. The story has it that he traveled with his principal's wife and family to Ilesha when suddenly robbers allegedly struck around Ilesha-Ife Express Road. And that's all the story from the police.
After 3 days, the incident happened. He traveled out the country. We wait patiently, and we are going to the office times without number. Nothing positive has come. We reported to the command state, Osun State, to the CID. Then after 3 weeks, the man arrived, but they promised us that if the man comes back, they will call us. When we went there recently, we find the man inside. We don't know he's him. They asked us we should excuse them. We excused for a while. Then they called us back. They introduced us to the man that my sister's husband is serving with, that he got missing in his hand. Since then, we never see the man.
Mrs. Ibrahim is at the receiving end. She's not been adequately briefed or brought up to speed about her husband's whereabouts, who went to serve. His colleagues have no words, and her welfare not prioritized. Her kids simply want their dad back. And all that has been offered by the superintendent officer at the AIG Zone 11 is nothing more than the usual cliche.
Investigation has commenced, and the police has done everything possible to trace the whereabouts of the officer. And we are still on it. There is no trace for now. But we are going to engage all modern ICT technology to see to the roots of what we can get.
It's been 8 months. The absence of Sergeant Ibrahim is deafening. His colleagues are quiet about his whereabouts or suspected status. Mrs. Ibrahim is in the dark, living off his neighbor, but the family have a request.
To beg government to help me to find my daddy.
They want the Inspector General of Police to intervene. Will he hit to this particular one? The waiting is on, and painfully so. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.